Hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. I hope you all are having a great day. I know I am so far. We're just reaching the end of the local Hack Day share coming up here, which is kind of sad, but at the same time, I know that we've done a ton of cool things together, and we're going to be doing more cool things today. Hello, chat! I see some familiar people in there. Today, we're going to be playing some Choose Your Own Adventure games together, and it's going to be super fun. We aren't going to be learning something new about programming, we're just going to be chilling and vibing on stream together, which I'm looking forward to. How are you all doing? Give me a 1 to 10 in chat how awake and alive and alert you are right now, because I know for some of you this is really early in the morning. You might also notice that we have a slightly different soundtrack going in the background today. We're going to be playing some chip tunes, because I figure that fit the theme better than lo-fi. The reason I'm asking about where you're at energy-wise, chat, is because I'm going to be asking you to make the choices in our adventures today. It's 2:30 a.m. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad you're up, and I'm glad you're joining us. Hello, Craig. As people are trickling in, I'm just going to quickly go over the things that are scrolling down below me. If you've been to one of my streams before, you've seen this. But if you haven't, let's go over some things that are on here. Oh, both the links in the announcement are... Oh my goodness, I had exclamation points. Both of the links are broken in the announcement I did in the Discord, but no longer. Both of those links are now working. Okay. Hi everyone who's in chat. Hi Fire, I just fixed it. I had an exclamation point. It's because I was so excited to be streaming, and then that ruined the link, so oops, but that's now fixed. Speaking of which, you can check into this event to get points for your guild, which we're reaching the end here, but you can still get tons of points. And if you look, it's coming right up on screen down below, so you can go to check in or you can check in at hackp.ac/adventure. Also, if you want to join that Discord that I was just talking about, you can go to discord.mlh.io. You can meet tons of people just like yourself who are making super cool things every weekend at different hackathons and are still hanging out this week as well. If you want to tweet about the amazing things that we're doing today, you can make sure you tweet at MLHacks. You can use the hashtag #LocalHackDay, and if you're tweeting about this event right here, I want to see it, so at Nathan Dimmer. And then, okay, I believe that's the entire scroll bar. Okay, we have people in chat. It looks like people are active, because I need y'all to be awake and alert and active, because I'm going to be asking you to make the choices in our adventures today. So, let's take a look at what adventures we're going to be playing. Because someone just asked, what are we going to be playing? We're going to be playing in the family-friendly category. So we have a couple options in here that have length and difficulty, and then none of them actually have a rating yet. So what are y'all looking for in an adventure game? Because we have Elvis at the Beauty Contest. We have Ineptitude 2 Electric Boogaloo. What's something that's really difficult? Ooh, Big Time. Is it 6 rated difficulty story? Or Mayoral Campaign is also 6 difficulty. Happiness Game, 3 rated. What are y'all thinking of? Hello to the new people. I see some new people trickling in. We're playing some Choose Your Own Adventure games live on stream. Currently, I'm just asking what people are looking for. Okay. Looks like chat's a little bit sleepy right now. So I'm gonna choose one. How many do we have? A lot. I'm just going to, let's just choose one. The Cat and the Crow, rated 4 difficulty, about medium length. Let's try it. player rating. Number 266 overall, so this is a pretty good game. Village and town are used in... I thought that was the introduction to the story, but that is story notes. Okay, let's play the cat and the crow. Once upon a time, there lived a cat and a crow. They were both creatures of nature and light. When the humans built a settlement along the Starling River... Hello in chat. When the humans built a settlement along the Starling River, Cat made his nest in the barn behind Farmer Daryl's house. Cat had a new, dry home and an abundance of food, and the middle-aged man could get free extermination services. Sometimes, he'd let Alice smooth down his fur and teasingly call him her little panther. Oftentimes, Cat would wander throughout the village and clear out the rats, and whatever was left behind, Crow would eat. Ah, Crow. She was a vain, big bird, but she had a gentle heart. After they assimilated into the village as esteemed members, the pair decided they should try harder to help the kind village folk. Crow would be the scout. She'd fly over the town with her keen eyes, spot trouble that needed amending. It could be an empty trough, a lost shoe, or a haphazardly placed stone. They were content with this lifestyle and purpose. Then one day... Cat! It must be Crow. He blinked open his verdant eyes, and into the open barn flapped a crow. The caws and flaps in her wake were to him what the rooster was to Daryl. Cat stretched and leaped to his feet with excitement for the new day. His stomach was full from yesterday's savory meal of fat rat, and the sun was showering the haystacks with warm light. What's the mission today? Cat said as he looked upward into the haystacks, to the beam, and finally at a small square window. This face of the barn overlooked the cobblestone streets of the village. Across the road was a tiny bakery. Mr. Manson can't find his hair. Crow flew to a perch on the sill behind Cat, who was only slightly larger. I love searching, Cat mewed before leaping off the sill. Down, down. He landed with a splash into a water trough, startling a lounging horse and soaking himself through, laughing all the way. He bounced off and shook himself, which earned a shriek from Crow. Cat strolled into the town, mewing to a bright-faced passers-by and occasionally accepting a pet. Crow stayed behind, her job over for now. He arrived at Mr. Manson's log house, which was by the lake. Mr. Manson was a charming man who liked to fish and to craft. Cat's whiskers quivered when he saw Old Man Manson bending down to search for the hammer beneath the porch. He yelped a little and straightened himself up, rubbing his back in pain. Cat bounded over and winded himself through Mr. Manson's legs, mewing up at the old man. He chuckled and reached down to pet Cat, but another spasm of pain brought him crashing against a wood beam. Cat leaped into the rail and peeked in his face. "Are you all right?" Of course, he didn't answer. Determined, Cat ducked under the porch and found the hammer, pushed against a slope of earth. He gripped the handle between his teeth and heard a scuffling sound. It smelled like a rat. It hissed at him like the scum it was, eyes glinting before scurrying away to whatever hole it came from. Cat snorted and dragged the hammer out and bumped into Mr. Manson's feet, dropping the hammer onto them. The elder's body jerked, and what must have been human blasphemy made Cat's ears perk up. But to the feline's surprise, Mr. Manson bent forward, hit his head again, fell backward, and landed on the damp ground with a thud. "Silly cat," he mumbled. Cat perked his ears before walking over, shame making his ears droop. "I didn't mean to." The human sighed, grabbing the hammer and heaving himself up. "It's not your fault, kitty," then dropped the hammer onto his foot. The old man yelled and muttered, "Stupid cat." Cat darted away, scared and confused, unable to understand poor Mr. Manson. Now, we have two options here. Do we want to go back to the barn, or do we want to go down to the lake? Barn or lake in chat, y'all. Barn or lake? We have a barn. Barn. Okay, looks like we want to go back to the barn. Cat padded through the now open doors to the barn. Crow was preening, and she squawked and asked all chipper, "How'd it go?" "I found the hammer, but Mr. Manson got hurt." His ears drooped and he sniffled, taking in the musty scent of hay and dirt and cobwebs. Crow must have seen the distress in Cat's ears and hopped over. She extended a wing out and patted her friend. There, we can always try better next time." But Mr. Manson bumped his head and injured his foot. I injured his foot by dropping the hammer on him. He sat down and let his tail rest on his front paws. He dipped his head, casting a forlorn shadow in the barn. Crow chirped. "Well, you can always go back and make amends." He lifted his head. You're right, he unfolded himself. Good idea. I can curl up with him and purr and do all the things human likes. Oh, I hope Mr. Manson gets better. She tweeted happily before sending the feline off again. Back to Mr. Manson's. Cat slipped through the open door and greeted Mr. Manson with a meow. He was on the rocking chair, barefoot resting on a knee and massaging a developing bruise. There was a grimace on his face, and Cat mewed politely. Mr. Manson didn't smell frustrated anymore, so Cat hopped onto his lap and curled up there, ignoring the chafing from the jeans. The old man grunted and petted the cat, who released lazy purrs. John, an elderly woman, came in, holding a basket with vegetables fresh from the market. Ah, and the cat is here too. She set her things on the kitchen counter and unwrapped the bread from the cloth. We're gonna stop here. I got a question in chat. Yo, Nathan, what are we doing today? We're playing some Choose Your Own Adventure games together. So currently, we're playing a Choose Your Own Adventure game about a cat who's trying to make his way in a town. Currently, we've gotten a hammer out from under a porch for Mr. Manson, but he ended up dropping the hammer on his foot. So we're now in his house trying to make amends. So the elderly woman just came in holding vegetables fresh from the market. And then, okay, there was a slice of cheese too. Mrs. Manson added it in a cup of milk and passed her husband the breakfast. Well, why the humans ate what they did was beyond Cat. He understood the milk, even though the thing gave him sad Mr. Manson. Sad Mr. Manson. He understood the milk, even though that thing gave him stomach aches. But the bread and the cheese was rat's food. I'm picking up a lot of anti-rat sentiment in this book, and I don't know, chat, are we pro or are we anti-rat? Mr. Manson is your spirit animal, aerosol can, I love it. Looks like Aerosol Can is pro-rats. Okay. Either that or you were saying rats is like, rats! Oh, rats! Which I can't tell. I'm assuming it means that you're pro-rats. Okay. Mrs. Manson rubbed Cat's ears and made some breakfast. Reminds me of New York for some reason. Insert gif of pizza rat dragging pizza up the stairs. Mrs. Manson rubbed Cat's ears and made some breakfast for herself before sitting on the nearby chair. I also went out to gather some roots and mushrooms. We'll be having a wonderful dinner tonight. David is also joining us. Isn't that wonderful? Mr. Manson grunted in response, but there was a hint of a smile on his lips. Content that he'd made amends, Cat uncurled from rest and returned to the floor. He mewed his goodbye, though Mrs. Manson's reply was much more cheerful than her husband's. Now we leave the Mansons. Cat made his way out the hut of the house and back to the barn. He was really running around this morning. The village fanned out around him, and he cocked his head this way and that, ears swiveling towards the dissonant sounds, hoping for another mission. Crow was probably admiring her reflection in the water trough, with the rising sun as the background. And the last time he bothered her, he earned a heavy bonk on the head. Those shiny wings were ridiculously strong. He heard both Alice and the baker, Mrs. Turner, at the same time. Judging by the sounds, the boys were nearly pulling Alice's pigtails again. Mrs. Turner, on the other paw, was making a lot of scuffling and grunting sounds near the bakery. Do we want to help Alice or help Mrs. Turner? Alice or Turner in chat, y'all? No idea? Okay, well we could always flip a coin and let random chance decide the fate of our character. We have one Mrs. Turner. We have one Alice. It's all kind of a guess. We're just seeing where the story takes us. The Aerosol Can is getting a coin. We are doing a coin flip. And because we're currently split on Mrs. Taylor and Alice, I think Aerosol Can's coin flip is going to decide which direction we go. It's Alice, okay. We're gonna go help Alice. Cat darted between two huts and found Peter, Thomas, and Fred surrounding the younger girl. She was sat in a damp patch of earth, hands over her head, as the boys pulled her hair, poked her, and nudged her with their bare feet. Cat bared his teeth in disgust and launched himself at Peter, whose red hair bobbed ever so tauntingly. Actually, wait, I'm going to ask Chad a question. This story is a lot less interactive than I thought it was. Do you want to keep doing with this one, or do you want to try another one? Do you want to continue with the story of the cat and the crow? Or let's take a look at what some of our other options are. Kingdom Conquest. Continue. Try another choosing... Wait. Continue. Try another choosing your adventure is real. My brain is struggling to process what this means. Continue. Try another choosing your own adventure. Okay, we want to continue. Oh. Oh. Ha. We're doing our own choose your own adventure. I get the joke now. Okay. We have our own our own adventure. Do we want to continue or do we want to try something else? It really doesn't, which is sad. We need to petition for Markdown support in Twitch chat. We could look at, we could look at puzzles and games. And I could bring some of y'all on stream and we could try figuring out these puzzles together. How does that sound, y'all? Markdown in chat would be a blessing. It really would. Markdown everywhere would be amazing. So I'm getting some, like, thumbs up. And I think I'm not so confident for camera. Ella, you can totally stay in chat, and I will keep reading chat all the time. But I could get some people on here for some more interactivity if you want. So we could try the 5 floors puzzle. Or escape the room. What do y'all think? This is a real life choose your own adventure. The escape room one. What was the strategy sim? Okay, I think Temple of Spades looks good. Escape the room. You wake up in a strange room. The walls are red, the floor is red, the roof is red, and there's a yellow door. Find a way out. We could try that one. What about the strategy simulator thing? Let's take a look. We need to make sure it's appropriate for stream. Strategy simulator. Nah. I don't know if we can play that one on stream. Hello, hello. Okay, let's try this. We're gonna do Temple of Spades, because I think that this one balances a good line between difficulty and adventure, and also making sure that it's appropriate for stream. Let me double check some things. escape the room. Ah. Quote, stories with this maturity level not by design have any potentially objectionable content. An example of this type of story with this rating would be a quiz on mathematics. We may or may not want to play this one. I think we might want to return to our cat. I think that might be our best option. Welcome to Puzzle Land. What do you all think? Any of these look interesting? We could just try Temple of Spades. It's a lot of dialogue between characters, that's what I was looking at. But we could try it. What do y'all think? Let's all play Yandere Sim together. Don't think that that one is going to work for us. Oh, wait. Let me look someplace that I think might have some good... Okay, let's try Temple of Spades. Never mind, within the first sentence there was a swear word. Let's go back to our cat. I think this is the best chance we have of being able to play a story on stream. Okay. Where are we at? We're saving Alice from the boys who are pulling at her pigtails. So, Kat darted between two huts and found Peter, Thomas, and Fred surrounding the younger girl. She was sat in a damp patch of earth, hands over her head, as the boys pulled her hair, poked her, and nudged her with their bare feet. Kat bared his teeth in disgust and launched himself at Peter, whose white hair bobbed ever so tauntingly. He cried out and fell to the ground. Thomas, from the onion reek on him... I appreciate that this is written from the cat's perspective, so people are described by their smell. Good writing there. Very good writing. Thomas pulled Kat's tail just as Peter grabbed his middle and pulled Kat away. The cat yowled, claws flailing in the air, feeling as his tail was about to be bent by Thomas's grubby fingers. Finally, Fred hit him on the back of the head, sending stars and black clouds into his vision. A metallic scent from the boys, and Kat growled, pleased he had drawn blood from the worthless scum? Okay, so Kat is anti-rat and now anti-human who pulls pigtails. Not the most, dramatic of opinions. I think that people who pull pigtails traditionally aren't super nice people, but I don't know if I would describe them as worthless scum. Leave him alone. Alice was there, holding him in her sweet arms. In her hand was a butter knife. Its dull metal glinted up at the boys, who snealed at the butter staining the utensil's flat side. She screamed at them, "Stay back!" Cat could taste the wrath exuding from the human girl, and it frightened him. Never had Alice acted like this. The boys must have felt it too, hearing the rasp in Alice's voice, or seeing the widened, gazeless eyes. The sound of their scampering disappeared towards the street. There, there, little jaguar. Alice pet Cat on the head, hand only weakly holding the butter knife. You've helped me so many times before. It's my turn to save you now. With that, Alice released Cat, who ran off, only glancing back to see the girl, still sitting on the damp ground, still holding that greasy knife. Cat. Thank you, Blue Moon. My reading makes this story more interesting. Well, we did just have like a fight scene that was determined by a butter knife, and I think that makes the story pretty interesting. Let's go to the town square. Cat made his way to the town square. At the center of the intersection of the main two streets stood a platform and a pillory. What's a pillory? Let's Google this. A wooden framework with holes for the head and hands, in which the offender was imprisoned and exposed to public abuse. Okay. It's one of these things. It was a rather unsightly thing, the only part of the town that made his stomach twist, making him want to cough up more than hairballs. He darted past it, and settled in a warm patch of sunlight. Caw! Crow flapped down to stand beside him. Salutations. She emphasized each syllable with a chirp. How'd the Mansons go? Cat lifted his dark head and licked the white patch on his chest. Mr. Manson seemed upset at me, but I think he forgave me. Wonderful, she swooned before perking upright again. The feline rolled his eyes at the bird. Dramatic. But I saw Alice. She was acting funny. It really bothered him. The Alice that fed him snacks from her soft palm, that petted and snuggled him, that even defended him against Mr. Darrell when he caught him sneaking around the house. She threatened Peter in his lap with a knife, a butter knife. Crow fixed a glittering eye on him. And? Well, human children don't normally do that. She's learning. It's a phase, dear. She'll grow out of the butter knife soon, Crow replied, hopping from one taloned foot to another. You sure? Definitely. Now, before we move on to At Night, the next phase of the story, this is where I'm going to give chat a quick informal poll. Would you say that you went through a butter knife phase? Yes or no? I don't think that I personally went through a butter knife phase, but maybe I had a weird childhood. Blue Moon says no. They didn't have a butter knife phase. As we've decided that it may or may not be a phase, we're going to move on to At Night. Aerosol Can went through a garlic obsession phase. How's that? It's not... I don't want to conflate the two between a butter knife phase and a garlic obsession phase, but I love that for you so much, and if you're willing to give more context, I would love more context. We're going to move on with the story, and then we'll come back to Aerosol Can's garlic obsession phase if they're willing to share more. If they aren't, I understand that. It is up to you. This is your own choose your own adventure. Crow, Cat stretched... Wait. Crow. Cat stretched out and stared at the barn roof, a tendril of web, saturated with dust, dangling from a horizontal beam. It was lit to make it silver, as if it was the hair of an old woman. Yet again, she was preening her already perfect feathers. What is it, kitty? His tail twitched. It's 2 days till the eclipse, huh? Why, yes, it is. Well, I'm worried about the town. I'm not sure if they can take the amount of magic there will be. Wait! It waited until like the 7th screen to reveal that there is magic in this world? Oh, you mean the bats. Yes, and the rats. So I was just baited. I was just baited for a second that there was about to be this magic portal that opens up. Cat, you mean the bats? Cat gulped. Yeah, and the rats. Crow hopped over and settled herself beside Cat, even though she hated sitting on the hay. She thought it was too soddy. Soddy? This is now vocabulary lessons on stream. That is not a word. That is what I have figured out. Sad, no magic. Hey, we at least have the magic of reading. and Sadi is not a word. Don't worry about it. I can take care of those unsightly winged vermin, and you can fill your stomach with those rotten earth-scuttling ones. Very anti-rat and anti-bat society that we have developed here in this story. Wait. So... Wait. This is in their family-friendly story section. And it basically explicitly... This paragraph is basically... The bubonic plague is very bad and so many people died. And this cat takes it on himself to not have that happen again. What? Okay. I feel like I have a little bit of whiplash right now. We went from, let's help Mr. Manson get the hammer that he dropped under his porch, to Cat remembered an era centuries ago when darkness descended, where women concocted all the medicines they could and failed, when children hid in their houses, their bodies covered in boils and pain. This did just get deep. This got so deep. He could smell the foulness of the rats inside the barn. He could hear their chattering, snickering at him. He couldn't understand their evil language, but he knew they were scheming. These rats. There was only a certain number he could... This is so aggressive. Cut. These rats, there was only a certain number he could kill in one day. A certain number his stupid, clumsy paws could even catch in one day. I will help you, Cat. Crow slid her beak through his fur, and he purred at the soothing sensation. There's nothing in the world more important to me than a friend like you. Which, okay, we are getting to very wholesome territory here. He could feel the sticky tears developing when he thought of Crow's sacrifices. Of betraying her Crow cult and teaching him the ways to destroy the evil ones? The full moon. That was the day the evil had their biggest chance to come back. He thought of Crow's sacrifices, of betraying her Crow cult. Wait. And the full moon. Wait, is it the full moon or is it the solstice? Wait, it's 2 days till the eclipse, huh? The full moon. That was the day the evil had their biggest chance to come. This story has taken a twist. Mouse, you are entirely right. Helping Mr. Manson, bubonic plague, crow cults. I so hope we have the option to just like join a crow cult. Let's go to the next morning. Cat stretched himself and prepared himself for the new day with a quick wash, but the weight of last night's conversation hung heavily from his heart and from my brain. Where is this going? I thought I understood where this was going, and I was kind of sad because I thought it'd be kind of a boring story about just like going around to town and helping people with the small things. And I focused so much on the butter knife because I thought that was very funny, and I underestimated this story. I highly underestimated this story. Crow already did her scouting mission, and she did not pick up a trace of the rats and bats. No, they're getting into whole like all-out animal war. Oddly, there were no missions for Cat today. He'd expected the rats and the bats to start making a ruckus soon. That they'd be so quiet disturbed him. Crow was finishing the remainder of Cat's morning meal outside, so he decided to go on his way to help the town. Next thing, the cat advanced but barely learned about tech. Oh my goodness, are we gonna have an upgrade tree for the cat? Laser eyes, double jump. I like it though, that in Cat's mind, it is... Plot twist, the cat is Nathan Dummer. Oh no! It's me in an alternate timeline. So, I do like it though, that Cat's like, I'm really scared that the world is going to end and my like duty that I've placed upon myself I'm going to fail at. But you know what? That's not happening right now. So I'm gonna go either check up on Alice or check up on the Mansons. Where do we want to go? Butter Knife Girl or Old Man? Mr. Manson or Alice? Let me know in chat where we want to go. It's been a while since we heard from the Mansons. It has. It's also been an emotional while. Mr. Manson, I want to know about the dinner. Yes, let's see what they ate. Wait. The next day, the morning day of the eclipse. We're getting right into it, okay. Kat wondered how Mr. Manson was doing, how his foot was. So, as jocular, I feel like some of these words aren't words. What does jocular mean? Fond or characterized by joking, humorous, or playful. She sounded in a jocular mood is the example that Google gives us. Blue Moon thought we should need to continue the adventures of the butter knife. Honestly, we could probably go back. Okay. Kat sighed. He wasn't angry. Oh, wait. So as jocular as he could be, he put on his bravest face and wandered into the Manson home again. Mr. Manson was rocking on his chair, whittling away at some wood. He looked up, paused when he saw Kat, and looked back down. Kat sighed. He wasn't angry anymore. Ears perked. He bounded to the old man and mewed, rubbing his cheek against a pant leg. Mr. Manson had a faint smile on his face. Whether this man was going senile or not, Kat was happy he had forgotten about his earlier misfortune with the hammer. This is so much darker than I thought it was. Kat even managed to stay for dinner. Hey, we've gotten to the dinner, eating away with the Mansons, Mr., Mrs., David, and Mary, trying to settle his dancing stomach with tidbits of fish and chicken. Tomorrow was the day. There was so much happening. Alice, the vermin, and that's it. When he got home, Crow patted him, trying to talk him into relaxation. It was impossible. He could lose all of his lives tomorrow? Crow could too? Kat slept, tail twitching. His dreams of death and stench and human blood. The tone has shifted so rapidly. I underestimated this. So, okay. Do we want to go back and check out Alice, or do we want to go on to the next day, the morning of the day of the eclipse? Alice or eclipse? It's about a cat. Yes, it is a cat saving the world from the vermin. Family-friendly story, like, okay, I think that this is family-friendly enough that we can play it on stream. Like, nothing has happened so far that I'm like, but family-friendly. This is... Which one was this? Cat's Day? No. Which one was this? What is this called? This is, yeah, The Cat and the Crow. This is on their family-friendly games section. Contains content that may not be suitable for persons under the age 10. Ah! I'm so sorry, stream. We should have talked about this before. If any of you are under the age of 10, you need to leave right now. I am joking. But that does... It would be probably between G and PG. Okay. So it has... Like, we should have expected more serious elements, but I feel like it started very light. Okay, let's move on to the next day, the morning of the day of the eclipse. Cat's heckles had been up the entire morning. He and Crow had fervently scouted around town for signs of the bats, or of the rats. G and PG are... G... rating. It is a movie that is intended for general audiences, and PG is a movie that is rated, or that has parental guidance suggested. So basically most movies in the US are PG, then you get into PG-13, where you can start getting into like some swearing and some mild like adult themes and things like that. But most things are PG. So the fact that this is between G and PG, this is like a Disney animated movie, level of conflict, according to their rating system. Postgraduate. This is a postgraduate adventure game. You can only take this if you have a master's degree in literature and like epidemiology, given the disease themes. Catsuckles had been up the entire morning. He and Crow had fervently scouted around the time for signs of the bats or of the rats. Cat only picked up a whiff of their stench, and Crow only reported tiny movements. The morning meal had been, again, an easy catch. He sat in his bum on the platform of the pillory and thought. He'd already We joked that there wasn't magic in this. He'd already memorized the chants Crow had given him. They were in a strange language, but it was music to his ears, almost as sweet as the smell of Alice's apple pie, which reminded him that she never gave him a treat. All he had to do was chant them during the eclipse and offer himself as a sacrifice to the spirit of the earth. Then he would be granted the power to return his senses the way they used to be. Strong, powerful, unstoppable. He'd be given a second chance after his failure those centuries ago. He flexed his claws. Then he could destroy those rats and save the town from their squalor. I like how none of the humans that we've interacted with so far have had any knowledge or like understanding of the rats, and the main character Cat is just like defining their entire existence around this. Alice was out playing again. She was playing with those boys, who must have been wrestling or tossing stones, for there were mild scratches on them. Stupid children! Alice, however, was enjoying her time pulling their hair and pulling their hair and untucking their shirts. Cat narrowed his eyes in amusement. Those boys deserved it for all the times they bullied her. He gave himself a thorough shake, and Crow landed beside him. Are you as nervous as I am? Cat turned to his century-old friend? Wait. We didn't know that the crow was a century old? How long do crows normally live? That's the very important question. How long do crows live? An American crow 7 to 8 years, and a common raven 10 to 15. So, true. Okay, how long do cultist crows live? Doesn't say. But I didn't know that this crow was like... Okay. Crow turned to his century-old friend, emotion inundating his throat so he couldn't speak. Crow taught him everything, giving him the opportunity for a second chance. He could not fail himself, fail her. Yet here Crow was, worrying. It had always been Cat leaning on Crow for support, for help, like an older sister. He had never had siblings. He gave a throaty meow of laughter. Wait, he's laughing? Cat's laughing? The end of the world is upon him. And he's laughing. I want to slaughter those rats once and for all. And what should we eat if the bats are gone? Crow brushed at her wing under her beak. Squirrels? I always hated those rascals, but they don't hurt anyone. You're such a delight, Cat. I will miss you. Cat's ears drooped. The payment for enchanting his powers for that night to wipe out the rats were his lives. So, in this one page, we found out that the crow is like semi-immortal and hundreds of years old, that there are magic powers, that Cat wants to like exterminate all rats, and doesn't mind squirrels but would eat them for food. That's all like okay, but then the payment for enchanting his powers for that night to wipe out the rats were his lives. Cats, yes. Cats have 9 lives. Okay, wait. How long does a cat normally live? Two to 16 years. He's sacrificing 128 years of his life to save the villagers from some rats. Are rats, like, also fantasy and evil? Okay, we have 2 options. throaty meow of laughter? Yes, when talking about like a self-sacrifice cult to save a village. Oh wait, he already died once. He did already die once. You're right. Power to return his senses to the way they used to be. This is a revenge arc. Because, yeah, he failed once before. So, well, okay, I think he has 7 lives to sacrifice, because he needs to keep 1 for himself. But still. 86 lives? Okay. No. wait. It would be 7 lives times 12. 84 years of life. Okay. Now, I guess here's the question. Do we check up on Alice one last time before nightfall? Or do we go to the forest to begin the ritual? Now the question is his current life one of his lives? Is it like, does he have 9 lives? Or does he have 9 respawns? Because if he can respawn 9 times, then he has like 10 lives. I interpret it as 9 lives. So this is one of his lives. So he can only sacrifice 9. If he sacrificed 8, he would die. But okay, check up on Alice one last time before nightfall, or go to the forest to begin the ritual. Which do we want to do? I'm going to give you all a second in chat. While we do that, there's some new people here. So I'm going to go over the stuff that's scrolling below me on the screen. Oh, it just ended. I'm going to wait for it to come back around. So, first of all, this is a part of local hack day to learn, so you can earn points for your guild by attending. You can check in at hackp.ac/adventure. Also, if you want to hang out with other cool people just like yourself and make cool things every weekend, you can go to discord.mlh.io. Also, if you're enjoying this, feel free to tweet at us at mlhacks and use the hashtag #localhackday. And if you are tweeting about this event specifically, I want to hear about it, so use at Nathan Dimmer. Okay, 1 forest. Aerosol Can's going to check in. Aerosol Can, before you check in, can you let us know Alice or forest? We've gotten 1 forest. But someone earlier wanted to, I think Blue Moon? Yeah, Blue Moon wanted us to go check out Alice before. Okay, but Mouse also says forest. Aerosol Can says Alice. Okay, I'm gonna say since they have a strong bond. Okay, wait. I'm gonna click on. We're getting another forest. We have 3 forests, 1 Alice. I'm gonna test something out. If I click Alice, what's the next thing? Epilogue Alice. If we go here, what's the next thing? Epilogue Lucifer. Cat. Most of the votes were for forest. So we're gonna do this, and then if we have time, we're gonna go back for Alice. The forest surrounded him on all sides except one, the lakeside. It would have been utter serenity, but Cat couldn't help but feel butterflies chasing him. He jittered and his tail twitched, and he waited and waited for the moon. When night fell, Crow rasped him, "Thank you for the good you do humankind." Wait. Is this cat like the only cat? Is this like the cat? Because it's always been referred to as cat or the cat. Are these... I guess we'll find out. Cat smiled and brushed the tip of his tail against her wing. "Thank you." Then she left. She leaves him? Flapping away, a silhouette against the chilly blur of sunset. Where she went, he had no clue. He hoped she lived happily for the rest of her life? She was just like, here's what you can do to sacrifice yourself to kill all the rats, and then leaves him. Oh my god, that's so cold. He shook his head, and he calmed his heart. The forest and time stilled. And when he, at last, probably opened his eyes, his hackles were on end. Above, a golden globe drifted among the clouds. It stood out in the sky like a nugget on flagstones, and Cat began his chant. So I get that this is like the climactic ending, but I'm just imagining a chicken nugget in the sky. Cat. It began as a whisper, the sounds sliding on his tongue like velvet purrs. He couldn't make many of the sounds Crow had, and his version came out like twigs cracking. Slowly, he felt his mind drift into a sense of calm. Yes, he felt something lukewarm seeping into his paws, flowing towards his head. In a heartbeat, he was arrested by numbness in his haunches, in his tail, in his throat. He saw the forest in a gradient of grays and yellows and blacks. He could register the musk of earth and the lapping of water, but he couldn't control his body. It was moving without telling him to, moving toward the town with sleeping humans, with Alice. Panic seized him. He wanted to scrabble, to flail, to flop like a fish out of water, but all he could do was watch and listen and feel as his paws scratched themselves carelessly on the sharp rocks, pointed branches. He was horrified. Walking, and the stench hit him. Rats of all shapes and all sizes emerged from the undergrowth. Bats unwrapped themselves and soared down from the trees, and crows, hundreds of crows decorated the boughs, outlined only by the light from the lunar eclipse. The smell of Crow, his friend, mingled among them, but had she not already flown off? A plump rat waddled to the front, and like a cat, covered his paws with his tail. Greetings, cat. His response was lost in the disconnect between his mind and his body. You spoke the language of the creatures of the night, asking us to come, so here we are. The rats shouted this as one, a million voices from a single filthy rat. Suddenly, he felt something horrible take possession of his body, felt it curling up inside him like smoke, dense and choking. A dark voice resonated through the forest. It came from him. A pleasure to meet you. The bats screeched their own replies, flapping fervently, stirring up a booming wind. The voices joined in, less than the rats, but disgustingly high-pitched. Welcome to the Alliance, cat. Terror. He was terrified. Cat, the real cat, was thinking frantically. How did this happen? His eyes, the only thing left under his control, darted around. Move, he demanded. Move! Finally, a crow landed before him. Her eyes were wide, beady, and pitch black in his yellow-gray vision. Crow bowed with a sweep of a wing. She cocked her head towards him, so one deranged eye was fixed on him, looking into his eyes, of seeing him, and not the inky presence in control of his body. Welcome, cat. It is my pleasure to invite you to the cult? Epilogue Lucifer. Give me a second here. Oh boy, plot twist? You aren't joking, Aerosol Can. Oh my god. Geez, indeed, great pizza. And we thought there was no magic in this world. Okay, let's read the epilogue. It's ending 1 out of 5. Oh my goodness. Okay. Crow giggled. Under the magic of the lunar eclipse, the kitty had become a completely black cat with dashing yellow eyes. No longer was there a snow-white patch at his collar, glistening mirror green eyes resting off his adorable nose. What she savored most was the oh-so-frightened look. She likes this? Crow likes this? What she savored most was the oh-so-frightened look in his eyes. Eyes the color of rotten rat's teeth gleamed, flicking it this way and that. Horror and betrayal making his pupils narrow and dilate uncontrollably. But the voice that spoke again was not the cat she had grown used to hearing. It was the voice with a sound that reverberated through the dense woods, bouncing off quivering ferns and shaking branches. I eagerly await to carry out the mission, Crow. Cat's body bowed low, chin brushing the dirt, tail lower to the ground so that it appeared almost like a snake. And then Cat soared through the air, landing on her before she could launch away. He pinned her wings down, and a twist of his paws crushed her bones. She shrieked, cried, it hurt. Then she felt a cold fire surge in her wings. It was a familiar darkness, and there was a hissing sound. My children, came Cat's new voice. The voice of Lucifer, Crow realized, gritting her beak in pain. Lucifer, the fallen angel that gave them the purpose beyond being just animals. Wreak havoc Wreak havoc on our little friends in the village, won't you? Let's have a contest. Whoever eats the most heads, I will elevate to be one of my personal demons. And whoever eats the least will be unable to eat at all. Their food becomes ash and slime inside them. Cat purred, eyes still horrified, incredulous, shining with betrayal. It was a startling contrast. The other animals rushed away, leaving the cat and crow behind. Cat looked down at her and nudged her wing, which twitched in pain. Lucifer, help me please. I offered you Cat's body. I reincarnated her. Oh, her feathers, her wings, her pride. But dear, don't you enjoy this pain? Lucifer's sadistic voice shook her broken bones. Crow saw Cat's reflective eyes, saw the sorrow there. He felt bad for her? How could he? She squeezed her eyes shut. Lucifer smirked, grinding his paws against her wings, and stalked away towards the town. The creature of the night loved Lucifer, but how come, when the flame of her will smothered, she could only see Cat's pair of verdant eyes? Crow gave a raspy whistle. It was a solemn tune. The only song a crow could sing, the only thing truly beautiful from a bird like her, a series of staccato caws that sounded to her, loud to her, that rose above the screams that began to erupt in the village. I saw Salem and survived the death plague. I served my master to the end of my days. Was not expecting this, chat, I'll be honest. So summary, Crow was actually evil and trying to reincarnate a demon, and then all the villagers died. We chose the worst ending, chat. We got to the worst ending. And it's the end of the stream, so I'm gonna close out of this because it can't hurt me anymore. I've closed it. This is The Cat and the Crow, a family-friendly story game. Should have just gone to Alice? We should have just gone to Alice. Oh my goodness. We could have saved the world? I don't think we could have saved the world because I don't think the world needed to be saved. I think we were lied to. I think that the world didn't need saving. I think that was just Crow lying to reincarnate a demon. Okay. Well, thank you all, chat, for joining me on this adventure. This was so much more exciting than I thought it would have been. This was amazing and super fun and honestly surprising. I was not expecting it to go this way. I need to go at 6 because there's another live stream. Wait, let me check. I believe there's another live stream starting. Schedule. Let's take a look. Okay. It's starting in an hour from now. So I'll give y'all an hour to kind of chill, decompress from that story that we just put ourselves through. Thank you all for joining us. I've been Nathan from Major League Hacking. This was super fun. And I'm so glad that I got to do so many technical streams with y'all and build so many cool things on stream, and then ended off with just a really crazy story together. Just for those of you who are joining in new, check in to this event to make sure that you can get points for your guild with Local Hack Day at hackp.ac/adventure. Join the Discord at discord.mlh.io to hang out with people just like yourself who build really cool things every weekend at hackathons. You can tweet about this event or anything that you've been doing at Local Hack Day Learn. I keep saying share. Local Hack Day Learn at MLHacks and using the hashtag Local Hack Day. And if you build something with me or you want to tweet about this, make sure you at Nathan Dimmer so I can see it. Thank you so much for y'all being here, and have an amazing night or day or wherever you are, and hopefully you'll be back in an hour for Explore Artificial Intelligence with Will. Have a great time, y'all. Bye. This was super fun.